Okay,
Yes.
good morning, Pak Ricky Tionardy.
Good morning to, yes,
Yeah,
good
good
morning to
morning,
Rona.
listeners. Yeah, and congratulations on your winning. I think two big
Yes.
speeches. One is the number one for the evaluation speech, and also number two for the international speech contest. This is the District 87 Toastmaster contest held on the 30th of May and 31st of May 2020. So congratulations on your achievement, and we all are proud of you. Okay.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. And thank you for the opportunity. And it's quite an honor for me to be able to interview you, to share your experience with all of us so we could learn from your experience on how we could get benefit from joining Toastmaster. And for those of us who probably want to get better and get into the contest, what kind of preparation and what path we should take, to go into the directions. Yeah. So let me
Mm.
get you to the first question. Maybe if you can share your journey with us on Toastmaster.
Oh, well, so originally I joined Toastmasters in 2013, I think, or first time. That time I just graduated high school, and a friend's relative took me to Toastmasters. But at that time, I don't really know much about Toastmasters, and public speaking terrifies me. So I was really scared. So I ended up quitting after the first meeting. I'm even already a member, but I end up quitting. But that was also because I'm busy with my university life, and I don't think I could handle speaking in front of a lot of people that many times. But then I think so I didn't really join again. Then I think I stopped coming in for around 2 years. And that was in 2015, and that was when another friend invited me again, and he's very persistent with saying, Rick, you should definitely go to Toastmasters again. You should definitely come to Toastmasters again. And I was like, all right, sure, all right. That time I finally come again, and that was when I found my family there in Phoenix. And honestly, it's a long journey heading to this place. I struggle to find what really matters to me, who I am as a person. And it was also at Toastmasters where I found the most selfless person I know. They were like my family to me. They spent their time to me. I have lots of problem with my anxiety and depression, and they were always there for me. Some of them even come and give me a hug without any reason. They just come and say, Rick, do you need a hug? And I think that meant a lot for me, especially since I have a lot of emotional struggles growing up. And yeah, so a lot of these journeys, and they bring me us to today, uh, in this competition, this contest. And yeah, I felt like it was not done. It's not really my own journey, to be honest, but it was also the other people's journey. It's the whole divisions teams who supports me, and they propels me towards this very opportunity.
So basically, like you find a family within Toastmaster who work together and fully supported you. Yeah, I think at that
Yes.
point when you joined Toastmaster, were you conversant in English already, or basically you get better, or how was your English level at that time?
Well, I have always been interested in English language ever since I'm a boy, and I've been in a debate club for a while, but I've never really much into speech, because in debate you're in a team, right? So it's less nerve-wracking, and the prospect of delivering a speech, that means you're alone on the stage, right? And it kills me. I'm very scared, and I mean, I could deliver speech every now and then alone, but I don't think I could do it like once every 2 weeks, in fact, I think it was until last 2017 where Liana Kwan, she used to be one of the district director, and she's from Division H as well, a lovely lady. And she told me that I have the tendency to not look at people in the eye when we are speaking, even when I'm delivering speech. And that was because if you look at my speech, I used to get bullied in the past, and I that kind of affect my self-esteem and self-confidence. So I've always felt fear when I look at people in the eye, and always felt a huge discomfort. So honestly, yeah, I do have some background in public speaking and English speaking, but the ones that helped me found my confidence and my self-esteem is here in Toastmasters.
Hmm. So maybe if you can probably summarize it for all of us, what benefits do you think that you can get from Toastmaster?
Ooh, it's really hard to summarize it in a few words, Rona, because there's a lot of I could find. Because but I think one of the most important thing that I found here is uh, what I really want in life. It's a self-actualization that maybe my dreams are not as crazy as it seems. And most importantly, I found family here. I found a community that is so positive, that is so uplifting. It helps me grow into a better person each day, because I, as a person, believe that we should be a better person as the day goes by. And that's why I believe that, you know, honestly, Toastmasters helps me grow as a person
Okay,
to be a better one.
so in addition to the hard skill of effective communication and public speaking, so basically
Mhm.
it helped you to grow as a person. You find a family in Toastmaster who
Yeah,
can support each other.
yeah,
Okay,
correct.
thank you. And also, I think the third question is that now that the contest is over, so maybe if you
Mhm.
can share with us your preparation on going to the contest and becoming a winner. So maybe if you can also give us like, you know, how do you do it so you can find, you know, the winning strategy to win the contest.
Okay. It's a really long journey because I have prepared this speech so long in advance. I've made this like months before. In fact, actually, I've made this last year. Originally, I planned to use this speech on my international speech contest last year, but I felt like I wasn't ready yet, because I want to make my speech the best speech I've ever made. You know, I want to put my whole heart in it, and I want to make it as optimum as possible. So last year, when they asked me if I want to join international speech contest, I said maybe not yet first, because I need time to prepare. So for this 1 year, I did lots of preparation, lots of review. Every single day, I practiced it as if it was my holy book. Like, you know, I really memorize it out of my head, and yeah, that leads me to today. But then something happened, obviously, and it is that we have to deliver it online. And as we know, delivering it online and delivering it in stage is completely different. I felt it was a bit awkward at first, because uh, unlike being on the stage, you know, sometimes it's already instinct. You know where to move, you know where to look at, you know how to speak. But when you're on the camera, you've only got one spot to look at, and that is the camera,
Mm.
right? And also the area where you do the body movement is very limited, because it's camera scope, right? So it's a lot of practice, really. There isn't any uh, wonderful trick. It's just a lot of practice and perseverance. If there's any suggestions I want to give to people who aspires to be division winners or district winners, is that a lot of practice. Because they say practice makes perfect. Always listen to feedbacks from people, and change accordingly, because sometimes not every feedbacks are something you should listen to, but it's something you should take to heart too. So a lot of practice, lots of listening to feedbacks. And secondly, it always seems impossible until it is done. In fact, on my earlier year in Toastmaster, my very first mentor is Miss Liana Kwan. She told me, I still remember when when I look at the videos of the district contestant participants, and I look at them delivering speech. Oh my God, they were really great, and it seemed impossible to even be in the district's final stage. And I remember Liana told me, Ricky, one day you would be on that stage. And honestly, I thought she's just being crazy. There's no way I would ever be on that stage delivering a speech, being so confident for 7 minutes in front of hundreds of people. I thought that was something very impossible to be done, but then I did it. And I guess that goes to say, if you put your heart in your speech, good speakers, they practice their speech lots of times. But great speaker, they put their heart, they put their soul and everything into their speech, and that I think is what makes a winner.
I think that is a very, very good sharing and very moving. So basically, like you said, that you need to practice a lot and you have to put your heart, to your speech, and you do it over and over and over and over again. So I think we touched on the international speech. How about on the evaluation speech that you have the number one? I think evaluation speech, I think this one, although it's not like you don't need to practice every day like international speech, I think, but there must be like a formula or a tips that you could share with all of us.
Okay, this is where it might get a bit technical, but I think again, I've got the opportunity to be mentored by wonderful people in the past. One of them are Liana Kwan. She used to be the district director, and she used to be I think she's more of a spiritual mentor to me, and she's my very first mentor at Toastmasters. She's the one that helped me through a lot in Toastmasters. In fact, yeah, I felt like she's the one who helped me with the evaluation, because for one, she's one very analytical person, and she's the one who taught me that when it comes to evaluation, it's not about everything about being analytical, but it's also about the feelings as well. Put yourself in their shoes, like how would they feel when they're delivering the speech? What effort did you see in that person? Because I believe evaluation is not simply about analyzing, but it's also about wanting them to improve. So when I evaluate someone, I try to put myself, if I'm their mentor, if I'm their closest friend, and if I want them to improve, what would I tell them? What would I give to them? And that's where I start. I try to build emotional connection to them first. Then after that, I started evaluating. Now, this is where it gets a bit technical. So basically, when it comes to evaluation, I would analyze how proficient they are as a speaker, because usually there's two parts. The first one would be the delivery, and the other part would be the content, which is the structure. Now, if usually for speakers to start, I would usually have them start by correcting their delivery first. How they the body language is it smoothly, efficiently done in order to enhance the speech, because sometimes it's not enough to just have body language, but it should be the body language that could be used to enhance the speech quality. The same with vocal variety, because what we know about vocal variety is that there's only about pause, uh, pacings, and volume. But in fact, vocal variety is very different. There's lots of variety in vocal variety that we might have not known. For example, like when it says pacings, for example, sometimes there's short, slower, or even faster, or normal speed. Sometimes you could use those in order to enhance your speech quality, or maybe volume. Sometimes it's all about the up. Sometimes you could scream. Sometimes you could slower your voice down, and even it goes to the whisper. And it could be used in accordance to enhance the quality of your speech. So that's lots of variety. I would not go into much explanation for it because it could take up to hours. But basically, it's about readings. So basically, I would see from the speaker if what they need is the delivery, improving in delivery or structure. That if they need delivery, then that's what I would focus more on the speech, because I believe that you should only focus to improve one at a time, not a lot of at a time. So after that, then I would make my evaluation based on that. If that speaker is proficient enough, let's say in delivery, then I would focus more on the structure, on the content, how they could improve it, so they could use it on the future. And I felt like one most important part of being an evaluator is that you're as a friend, as a mentor, not as a as someone who is better, but you're most likely as a best friend. So it's best that you portray yourself as such, not as someone who knows a lot. So that's why I choose my word really carefully when I'm evaluating, so I don't seem as if I know everything, but more as someone who wanted to help. And I felt like that part of being an evaluator is what matters as an evaluator, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I appreciate very much. I think I get a lot of insight in just this few minutes from you. I really have, so I really learned a lot in these few minutes. So thank you very much for sharing this. Um, and do you have any other tips and tricks, for those people who either just joined Toastmaster or maybe long time Toastmasters?
Oh, I just want to say, uh, find yourself, find yourself, because I felt like Toastmasters is the place where I find myself, and it's really not, it's probably not going to happen unless you really want to reach out to them, because I felt like it's a place where I found a lot of opportunities, a lot of friends, a lot of connections, something I would never expect to happen when I first joined Toastmasters. And honestly, I think at the moment, a lot of people might be reaching out to you, like wanting to help you. And I think grab their hands, and maybe somewhere down the road, you would even be able to do the same to the other people. And as usual, that's the thing I've been trying to say over and over again. It's always seem impossible until it is done. Me delivering a speech in 7 minutes, I cannot imagine doing that in the high school back then, when I'm still someone with a really low self-esteem. Me, speaking in front of hundreds of people on the stage, if you were to tell me this during my high school, I would already say that you're crazy, because back then I could not even look at people in the eye and maintain a conversation for a long period of time without having anxiety. But now, honestly, it's it's a life-changing journey. And so, find yourself, reach out for people, and reach out to people, and that's it. So thank you. And also, really, I'm really honored to be a part of this podcast, Arona, and you look really lovely, and I'm very happy to be here today.
Thank you very much for sharing, Ricky. And I really get an insight. And also, there's always a saying that actually winning something is not an accident. It's always takes a lot of preparation and to find yourself. And you have to enjoy what you do. And I see it really in yourself that this is something that you really enjoy. You feel that this is your family. You find spot. You find who you are. And also, it takes a lot of practice. Probably also a good mentor play a key part in this journey. So thank you very much for sharing with us, Ricky, and wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rona.